The House will come to order. The Pledge of Allegiance this morning will be led by Ronald Lewis, Thomas Miller from Julia Greeley Academy in Denver, and Marcus Brigham and Miles Brigham from Timberline Elementary in Centennial.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Cole, please take the roll.
Representatives Becker, Buck,
Miles.
Buckner,
Marcus. Hold on, we're going to take a picture, guys.
Representative Buckner,
Thomas. Here, let's go this way. Guys, we'll take a picture. Who? Buckner. Absent.
absent. Conti, Coram, Court, Representative Court, Representative Buckner is present.
Court. Absent.
Absent. Del Grosso, Dorr, I got him. Representative Dorr, absent. Duran, Everett, Exum, Fields, Representative Fields, present. Fisher, Foote, Garcia, Gardner, Representative Gardner, present. Representative Court is present. Representative Giroux, Janal, Hamner, Holbert, Hollinghorst. Just saw her. Yeah. Not present. Humphrey, Joshi, Kagan, Kraft-Tharp, Labuda, Landgraf, Representative Landgraf, present. Lawrence, Lebsock, I gotcha. Representative Kraft-Tharp, Lee, May, McCann, McLaughlin, present. McNulty, just saw Representative McNulty. I see him, he's in the lobby, present. Belton, Mitch Bush, Moreno, Representative Dorr is present. Representative Moreno, Oh, yeah. Mr. Speaker, Moreno? Moreno excused. Murray, Navarro, Nordberg, Pabon, Peniston, Pedersen, Primavera, Priola, Rankin, Rosenthal, Ryden, Sane, Salazar, Schaefer, Scott, got it. Singer, Sonnenberg, Stevens, called in, Stevens called. Excused. Swamp, Zabo, Tyler, Vigil, Waller, Williams, Wilson, Wright, Young, Speaker Farinina. I can print you out just a paper copy if you want it.
Okay. Are they
right
going to
now.
do it? So how is that? Will they do it this day?
I don't know what they're going to do. I just send it over there for her to sign it, for the president to sign it,
Okay.
and then they bring it back to me.
Okay. Can you print out a copy? I just do it as part of the announcements.
Did you talk to the majority leader?
Yeah. I'll remind her. I mean, like, I don't know, it's not on the calendar. So.
No, right. President signing.
With 63 members present, 2 excused, a quorum is present. Representative Wilson.
And when do you want to?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. After yesterday's levity, I would like us to be a little more serious today, colleagues. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, members, honored guests, and those of you with your noses plastered against the lobby glass, on this April Fool's morning, it is altogether fitting and proper that we are gathered here today to lay to rest the journal of March 31st. We are indeed blessed with the memory of our recently departed journal. It seems like only yesterday when we bask in the glow of Representative Gardner's extolling the virtues of certain model acts adopted by the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, along with 6 other prime examples of model legislation here on this very floor. In honor of that exemplary floor work, let us pause for a moment of silence to honor our work. Okay, that's enough. I move that the reading of the Journal of Monday, March 31st be dispensed with and that it be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk. Bless you, brothers and sisters. Let's take a moment to share an aye vote.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The motion is adopted. Announcements and introductions. Representative McCann.
I can't read it. Can't read it. Okay. Now that's a piece. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I'd like to have your attention for a moment. I have a tribute today that I would like your attention to. April is Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month, and so this morning we are doing a tribute to the Parkinson's Association of the Rockies. As many of you know, Parkinson's disease is a chronic and progressive movement disorder that involves the malfunction and death of vital nerve cells in the brain called neurons. Many of you probably have relatives or friends who have suffered from this progressive neurological disease. My father actually had Parkinson's for many years, and I watched as he slowly lost some motor function, began having the tremors that many of us have seen with folks with Parkinson's, and also began to have difficulty walking and speaking. An estimated 7 to 10 million people worldwide live with Parkinson's disease. In the United States, as many as 1 million individuals live with this disease, which is more than the combined number of people diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, muscular dystrophy, and Lou Gehrig's disease. Approximately 60,000 Americans are diagnosed with Parkinson's disease each year, and that doesn't reflect many cases that go undetected. Incidence of Parkinson's increases with age, but an estimated 4% of people with Parkinson's disease are diagnosed before the age of 50. Statistics have shown that men are slightly more likely to have Parkinson's disease than women. It's also an expensive disease. The amount of money that the United States and individuals spend each year on Parkinson's disease is staggering. The combined direct and indirect cost of Parkinson's disease, including treatment, also Social Security payments and lost income, is estimated to be nearly $25 billion per year in the United States alone. Medication costs for an individual with Parkinson's average $2,500 a year, and therapeutic surgery can cost up to $100,000 per individual. There has been a lot of recent activity to try and discover treatment and cure for Parkinson's. The National Institutes of Health have devoted significant resources to making substantial advances in this area. But a potential crisis in Parkinson's is looming because the number of people volunteering to participate in clinical trials is not keeping up with the with the research. So Parkinson's does affect many of our residents here in Colorado, and we do have an association that is working in this area. And I want to just mention that treatments are generally effective 50 to 90, although treatments are initially effective, 50 to 90% of patients develop debilitating motor complications. When someone cares for someone with Parkinson's, it's an increasingly difficult task. It becomes complex and demanding as the severity progresses. So the Parkinson's Action Network, Parkinson's Disease Foundation, the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research, the National Parkinson Foundation, and the Parkinson Alliance Parkinson's Unity Walk have designated April as Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month in the state of Colorado. So I want to compliment the Parkinson's Association of the Rockies, which is doing outstanding work on behalf of those affected by Parkinson's. And I would ask you to join me in recognizing Cheryl Sievert. If you would stand, Ms. Sievert. She is the Executive Director of the Parkinson's Association of the Rockies. So let's give her a round of applause. Thank you for being here, Ms. Siebert, and thank you, members, for your attention to this tribute for Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month.
Further announcements, introductions? There are none. Mr. Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And members, I don't normally come down here on introductions or announcements, but today I want to talk about something very serious, and that is hurt feelings. Hurt feelings is something that we need to make sure that we take very seriously. And those of us in the Republican Party, we do take hurt feelings very seriously. And I know on this eve, April 1st, of appropriations tomorrow, 30 bills up tomorrow in appropriations, and maybe some later in the week, that there could be a big chance of hurt feelings. And I remember back where this was a big issue probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and this body put together a form for legislators to report those hurt feelings. And so I was going to hand this out to my members, but then I figured with the amount of bills that were up in appropriations that there might be some Democratic bills that might not make it through the appropriations process too, and given that there's about 5 weeks left of the session, there could be hurt feelings on both sides. So I wanted the chance to let every person here know about the form. And there's a report that you can fill out, and I put this on everybody's desk for you guys to, if you have your feelings hurt, you can fill this out and then submit this form to let people know about how your feelings were hurt. And I want to apologize to the folks in the lobby because this is a government form, and so you're not allowed to actually fill it out. It is just for those of us here in this chamber. So those of you that might have your feelings hurt between now and the end of the session, please feel free to fill out the hurt feelings report and let everybody know how your feelings were hurt. Thank you, and I hope this will make it a lot better session for you.
Members, we do need to move on to work. Representative Swan for announcement or introduction. Okay. Seeing none, Members, please return to your desks. Where's my Madam Majority Leader?
I've done it before.
Del Grosso, we're going to do the resolution first. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House suspend the rules, the CRS statutes of the state of Colorado, the state constitution, the United States Constitution, and all reality for immediate consideration of HJR. What? Oh, HCR
4142.
4142, 4142, 1400.
4114.
Yeah.
Seeing no objection, the motion by the Majority Leader is passed. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Concurrent Resolution 4114.
HCR 4114 by Representatives Ferrandino and Del Grosso, submitting to the registered electors of the state of Colorado an amendment to the Colorado Constitution concerning the abolishment of the Colorado Senate.
Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. I move House Concurrent Resolution 4114 and ask that Mr. Kohler read the first 2 pages of the resolution of the concurrent resolution.
With pleasure. Whereas the Colorado State Senate is the least functional, effective, and good-looking chamber in the Colorado General Assembly, and whereas the State Senate is and has been for decades a place where good state representatives go on to end their careers as bad state senators, and whereas the State Senate is where good ideas go to die, become bad ideas, or languish in committee for months before dying or becoming bad ideas, and whereas the State Senate has earned itself the illustrious nicknames of Voldemort, the Temple of Doom, the Chamber which shall not be named, among others which we cannot print on bill paper as to not offend the sensibilities of our drafters, our enrolling clerks, or me, Corey Kohler. And whereas the State Senate has 35 members who serve for 4 years each, many of whom have been in elected office for a decade or more and still can't seem to get its act together. And whereas a full 99% of Colorado voters in a recent survey chose abolish the state Senate as the best way to balance the budget, restore education funding, and grow jobs in Colorado. And whereas the state Senate's nap time has become an undue burden on nonpartisan staff who spend more than half their hours at work fluffing pillows, tucking sleepy senators in, and warming up bottles of milk. And whereas the #1 response to Capitol tour guides when visitors are asked if they'd like to see the state Senate is, no thanks. And whereas the state Senate has lower approval ratings than rabies, Satan, and the United States Congress. And whereas it is the intent of the Colorado General Assembly that the Colorado State Senate be abolished, its powers and duties transferred to the House of Representatives, and the chamber in which it conducted business be transformed into a daycare center for the children and pets of the members of the House of Representatives.
Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. There's not really anything more to say. I ask for an aye vote.
Is there for Representative Scott?
Thank you, Madam Senator Pro Tem, Madam Speaker.
Now it's me.
Pro Tem.
The Senate already taken over?
The Senate, I just want people to truly understand.
As you go become a traitor and a bad senator, go on, Representative Scott.
You look different, Madam.
Yes, I've changed a little.
This is a very sad day for me because we resemble every remark that was just made. And I look forward to practicing all these things as we move over to the Senate. My colleagues, Mr. Holbert and Mr. Sonnenberg. But we have a memory, and we shall remember this day.
Former Speaker McNulty, Representative McNulty, to do your job.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, Representative Scott, I'm glad that you have a memory now because by the time you get over there, it'll be gone. So the folks over here have little or nothing to worry about. Mr. Speaker, I'm glad that you brought this resolution in coordination with the minority leader. It's about time somebody did something about that giant sucking sound at the other end of the building. Colleagues, it is a disappointment of mine that there are those of us who decide to take up residency in the other chamber after such a productive and fruitful career here in an effort to help our colleagues who are making such a poor life decision. I suspect that we ought to include language in the resolution, Mr. Speaker, that helps them adapt to the new life that they may have over in the state Senate, and with life support. And with that, I move Amendment L001 and ask that it be read at length.
And whereas, between the hours of 2 p.m. and 5 p.m., members of the House of Representatives currently running for the state Senate shall be precluded from voting or otherwise carrying on any productive activity in order to better prepare for their Senate afternoon nap.
Representative McNulty.
Mr. Speaker, I think this is only fair.
Is there any further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. They didn't even oppose. I know. The motion is adopted. They're already in Senate mode. Representative Holbert.
Mr. Speaker, I do appreciate this resolution and the sincere thoughts and expressions of my colleagues here. But I think that it would be best for all of us to delay conversation on this important resolution. So I would offer a substitute motion to lay over this resolution 19 days so that we could take this up again on 4/20.
Do you really want to come in on Sunday, Easter? It's a proper motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The motion is lost. We're back to the resolution. Any further discussion? Mr. Minority Leader?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, since we would be only down to one chamber, I think it's still appropriate that we add some additional language in there as well. And so I move L003 and ask it to be displayed. And Mr. Corwin, could you please read it at length?
And whereas the majority and minority parties of the House of Representatives may only pass bills in a number proportional to their representation in the House of Representatives.
Mr. Minority Leader.
And Mr. Speaker, I think this is only appropriate, seeing that we're actually down to one chamber, that this is a great way that we can make sure that we still ensure bipartisanship. And so I urge an aye vote on L003.
Any further discussion on L003? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. No. The amendment is lost. Representative Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, I can see that this is being fast-tracked, and there's really no way to avoid an inevitable outcome. So while I may need to take a 21C myself, I offer L004 and ask that it be displayed.
Would you like it read?
Yes, please.
Why not? Whereas the provisions of this House concurrent resolution do not apply to Northern Douglas County, specifically Senate District 30.
Ask for an aye vote.
Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. No. The motion is lost. Any further discussion? Representative Kagan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to object in the strongest terms to this resolution. Firstly, I think we're going...
Representative Kagan, you're out of order.
Mr. Speaker, I have demanded the right to speak. Am I not a member of this House?
Please continue, Representative Kagan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Lord Kagan.
I object in the strongest terms to this resolution. We are going down a slippery slope, members, when we start abolishing chambers. Secondly, there will be unintended consequences if we pass this resolution. And thirdly, may I say, I was not shown this resolution yesterday. It has just been brought here. And now we're asked to abolish the Senate. It may be a good idea. I want notice next time. And may I say one more thing? I am a suburban legislator. Were we suburban legislators consulted about this? This is just showing the increase in the urban-rural-suburban divide. And I say it's time this House started representing all aspects of Colorado instead of bringing these narrow, surprise, slippery slope amendments. I urge a no vote.
Representative Everett. Representative Everett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, I have as much disdain for the lower upper chamber as anybody else, but I got to admit, I'm looking forward to some of the rules and traditions and things that we will be adopting once the Senate is abolished, especially the nap time provisions. Thanks.
Representative Waller.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And, you know, knowing that perhaps the makeup of the Senate's going to change next year, I'm still in favor of this resolution, by the way. But Representative Kagan, you gave such an impassioned argument. I was wondering if you could explain to us the impact this is going to have on riparian water rights.
Representative Quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I would like to move L004, have it displayed. I think that in itself may
Representative
answer...
Quorum, can you actually move it? I know you'd like to move it, but actually, can you move it?
I would move L004 and ask that it be displayed. And in my new house, we will not have these rules. As
Please
you can
continue.
see, we're very serious about what we do here. And so we're proud of the Senate. We like to work together. But a state of its own in western Colorado would be much more congenial. Some of you are welcome to move.
Representative Quorum, that amendment does not fit under the title. Representative Joshi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And members, do you know children, they always like slippery slopes. They always want to slide. And they always like the slippery slope. So please, for the children, this is for the children. So vote for this, for the children.
Representative Rosenthal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Actually, I rise in opposition to this resolution because what happens is if this passes and we abolish the Senate, you'll have 35 unemployed senators who now may primary us for our seats. And so I do not support this.
There's no way they would beat any of us. Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And members, Amelia Jacobs and Courtney Bell of Littleton High School, Mr. Speaker, agreed with you completely that Representative Kagan was 100% out of order.
Representative Quorum for another redo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When you lose one way, you try another. So therefore, I move L004 and ask to be displayed.
Really?
This could be the end of bipartisanship.
Yeah, we're not bringing that up for a vote. That doesn't fit under the title either. Further discussion. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, having been born in Maywood, Nebraska, in my grandmother's bed, and grown up in the fine state of Nebraska, soon to have moved to Wyoming after that, but that state was very smart from the very beginning. They have only one chamber, and I stand here to tell you that it actually works pretty well, and there are a whole lot less of them, and that seems to work pretty well. And so I think that was all a very good idea. The only thing that I would object to, and I'm glad that we have cleared that up in this resolution, is that in fact they call themselves senators when in fact everybody should be called a representative as far as I'm concerned. So I'm in strong support of this resolution.
And just to note, the leader of the Senate in Nebraska is actually the Speaker of the Senate, which is weird, but that is what it is. It's a good trivia question. Any further discussion on House Concurrent Resolution 4114? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no? No. Seriously? You need 2/3. I thought I heard 2/3. The resolution is adopted. And everyone's going to be a co-sponsor. Okay, now actually that we had our April Fool's fun, and I'm worried what the Senate will do with that when they get that in their hands. We're actually moved to our real business. Third reading of bills, final passage. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1315.
House Bill 1315, Representative Gardner, Senator Sheffield, concerning the enactment of certain model acts adopted by the National Association of Insurance Commissioners in connection with enacting the Credit for Reinsurance Model Act and the portion of the Insurer Receivership Model Act that governs any agreements.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of House Bill 1315 on third reading and final passage.
Seeing no discussion, the question for the House is the passage of House Bill 1315 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine, and members proceed to vote. Representative Lee and Priola. Close the machine. With 65 aye votes, 0 no votes, 0 excused, and 0 absent, House Bill 1315 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to House Bill 1313.
House Bill 1313, Representative McLaughlin, also Senator Nicholson, concerning requirement that the owner of a pet animal provide a valid rabies vaccination certificate prior to registering the animal with the county.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of House Bill 1313 on third reading and final passage.
Seeing no discussion, the question for the House is the passage of House Bill 1313 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine, and members proceed to vote. Representative Conti, close the machine. With 40 aye votes, 25 no votes, 0 excused, and 0 absent, House Bill 1313 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1045.
House Bill 1045, Representative Primavera, also Senator Aguilar, concerning the continuation of the breast and cervical cancer prevention and treatment program in connection with making appropriation.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of House Bill 1045 on third reading and final passage.
Seeing no discussion, the question for the House is the passage of House Bill 1045 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine, and members proceed to vote. Representative Conti and Scott, close the machine. With 50 aye votes, 15 no votes, 0 excused, and 0 absent, House Bill 1045 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1314.
House Bill 1314, Representative Pedersen, also Senator Kerr, concerning cooperation between school districts and charter schools on ballot questions to authorize additional local revenues.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of House Bill 1314 on third reading and final passage.
Seeing no discussion, the question for the House is the passage of House Bill 1314 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine, and members proceed to vote. Representative Buckner and close the machine. With 65 aye votes, 0 no votes, 0 excused, and 0 absent, House Bill 1314 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1281.
House Bill 1281, Representatives Janal and Joshi, also Senator Rivera, concerning the allowance for terminally ill patients to have access to investigational products that have not been approved by the Federal Food and Drug Administration that other patients have access to when they participate in clinical trials.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of House Bill 1281 on third reading and final passage.
Seeing no discussion, the question for the House is the passage of House Bill 1281 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative Moreno, close the machine. With 65 aye votes, 0 no votes, 0 excused, and 0 absent, House Bill 1281 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1302.
House Bill 1302, Representative Buckner, All Senator Johnson, concerning the addition of a judgment against a debtor or transferee who acts with actual intent as an available remedy for creditor in a fraudulent transfer action.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of House Bill 1302 on third reading and final passage.
Seeing no discussion, the question for the House is the passage of House Bill 1302 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative McNulty, close the machine. With 65 aye votes, 0 no votes, 0 excused, and 0 absent, House Bill 1302 is passed. Co-sponsors. Do we want to do Conti's consideration? So we're done. Okay. We'll just do announcements, introductions, and we're done. Okay. Close the machine. Announcements and introductions. Representative Tyler.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Tomorrow, we've got an opportunity for free lunch in the east side of the Capitol, and we have a little car show going on the east side of the Capitol. That car show will include natural gas vehicles, propane gas vehicles, and some electric vehicles, including the best car that's ever been rated by Consumer Reports or some of the other car magazines, the Tesla. Come down and see us. Maybe you'll get a test drive, maybe not, but good opportunity.
Representative Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I would also like to make sure everybody gets invited to come on down. It'll be on the east side of the Capitol. This is a great opportunity for you guys to see this technology up close and personal and get an idea of what the future looks like for transportation in Colorado. Thank you.
Representative Giroux.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll be quick. Members, I caught Representative Melton trying to take my name out and put it, oh, yeah, I see what we've been doing here, kids. So I just want everybody on notice that if you see Representative Melton near my desk at all, could you run, jump, and tackle him, please? He is not to be trusted. And Representative Pabon, you may want to take a look at your identity.
Further announcements and introductions. Representative Rosenthal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And so just a reminder to all the members, tomorrow we're going to do our celebration of all of Colorado's sister cities. That's at 8 a.m. In the West Foyer and Rotunda area. And we have a couple mayors and proclamation from the governor, but most especially a show from some Chinese lion dancers. So it'll be a lot of fun and a great multicultural experience. Thank you.
Representative Melton, to defend your honor. If there's any left.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And that's exactly what I'm down here to do, which is defend my honor. I have no idea how Representative Del Grosso and Representative Hullinghorst's name tags got swapped. And yeah.
Representative McCann.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the Health Insurance and Environment Committee will meet at 10 o'clock downstairs in our regular committee room. See you there.
Representative Ryan.
Members, this is not an April Fool's joke. Contrary to what's on the calendar, the State Veterans and Military Affairs Committee will not be meeting tomorrow on adjournment. We will be hearing House Bill 1335 on Monday, April 14th. Thank you.
Representative Fisher.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House Agriculture, Livestock, and Natural Resources Committee, we will not be meeting in joint session tomorrow morning at 7:30 with the Senate because they're doing the long bill, so our early morning meetings for Ag are canceled for tomorrow. So just wanted to make you aware of that. Thanks.
Any further announcements or introductions? Seeing none, a few announcements. Pursuant to the request from the Senate, the House conferees for Senate Bill 131 are Representative Jared Wright, Chair, Representative Dominic Moreno, and Representative Max Tyler, members. Also, pursuant to House Rule 3B, Representative Justin Everett will replace Representative Sonnenberg on the Transportation Energy Committee, effective immediately. Seeing no further announcements or introductions, Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the House stand in recess until 1 p.m. this afternoon, at which point we will adjourn until tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Seeing no objection, good work this morning, members. Thank you for your fun abolishing the Senate. The House will stand in recess till 1 p.m.